Let's go on to some nerdy news.
Yes, let's.
I'm done threatening ecosystems. Right, off the
Mm.
top here, James Mangold, who,
Hmm.
as we just discussed, got nominated for some awards at the Oscars. He's also working on a Swamp Thing project
Mm.
and a Star Wars project. The man's got his fingers in a lot of pies. Anyway, he says his Swamp Thing project will be a simple gothic horror movie. He says
Mm.
he knows that DC will be viewing it as a franchise, but he views it as a gothic horror story.
Yeah.
And this is once again further evidence and reason for excitement
Yes,
that
around the
the
DC.
DCU is get creatives to be creative.
Mm. Yeah.
Like we're gonna go get a good horror director. He's gonna come in. He's gonna take one of our horror-ish characters and make a horror film with them, and that's fine because they're character-centered instead of story-centered, and it's good. Seeing so many directors seem quite excited to do projects for DC makes me
Mm.
think James Gunn's gone, guys. The lunatics are in control of the asylum. We can be creative as fuck.
Yeah, the artists have gained control.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah.
So hopefully, long may it continue. Some sad news as well in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Legendary filmmaker David Lynch has passed away. He obviously made the original Dune film back in the 80s, as well as
Hmm.
a myriad of other projects.
Yeah.
Apparently, he was working on some stuff when he passed away. I didn't realize he'd smoked since he was like 13 years old, and
Jeez.
only stopped when he was like 72. So maybe like 4 or 5 years ago.
Mm.
And I think part of the reason he stopped was due to COVID. His emphysema from smoking was so bad that he was directing from home via like Zoom
Jeez.
and stuff. So he stopped smoking to try and get better so that he could go back to directing in person because he loved it so much.
Mm.
Very sad day. Lots of
Yeah.
amazing tributes from people who just clearly loved working with him. Always a sad day when a passionate creative person
Yeah.
passes away. Charlie Cox has said that Born Again Season 2 will start
Yeah, I saw
filming
this.
before Season 1 even premieres in March.
We love to hear that because that means shorter gap between seasons.
The other thing worth noting, I didn't give it its own bullet point, but there was an article in the week, or a headline, about how the showrunner had said, what we've done differently from before is there's less just chatting and, oh, woe is me.
Yes.
I'm not taking any swipes, that's just different now. And everyone took that to mean it was a jab at Netflix and the
Yeah.
Netflix show. It's now been revealed, as the full article has come out, that actually he was talking about the scripts before the rewrites.
Which means he definitely came in, read it, and was like, the fuck is this shit?
As we know, they changed it. Basically, no one involved was happy with it. So they did the right thing. And they went, right,
and restarted.
Start again. What did we like? What don't we like? Try again. But that comment was taken out of context by people and like, oh, look, they think they're better than Netflix. This is going to be terrible. When in actuality, he was talking about an earlier version of the show that we are all thankful didn't get made.
Yeah.
More interesting news. There'll be a separate DC Studios, I think it's called a Stinger intro for Elseworlds project. So as we know, it got revealed the new DC Studios.
Yeah, with the Superman.
Stinger, with the old school Superman that flips, and we saw it for the first time in action in Creature Commandos.
Yes, we did.
And people were like, is that going to be used in Elseworlds projects? Or it wasn't shown in the Penguin? How does this work? And James Gunn's confirmed they're working on another one that will be used for Elseworlds projects, which will help you differentiate, because I'm not sure if we discussed it. The big issue I always had with the Sony films was they have like the Marvel title card. The only difference is it says in association with, and the average viewer is not going to twig that means anything.
No, when you've got Marvel themselves have the Marvel TV intro, the Marvel anime, like they have their different ones. You see the one on the Sony, you're just like, oh, it's just part of that collection of Marvel intros.
Exactly. Whereas having an Elseworlds one, which could be quite fun, will make people go, right, That different. This the same. Brilliant.
I recall way back when I think it was announced the DCU was rebooting and stuff. We talked about the fact that Matt Reeves Batman, would it be Elseworlds? And I think you said, I wonder if they will do an Elseworlds stinger.
Yeah.
I feel like you gave an idea of one, but I forget what it was.
It makes sense. And when DC have such gorgeous branding for non-continuity stories in Elseworlds, just use it. Like, Elseworlds is one of the most succinct, beautiful bits of branding to happen in comic books. It's like, you've got the main story, and then you've got the Elseworlds. Beautiful. Use it.
The interesting thing will be, we have to pay attention now to the Batman 2. Does it have an Elseworlds stinger or a DC Studios? Because that will reveal what they've decided to do with Batman.
Imagine if that's how they reveal
they just put DC
Batman in DCU. That'd be craziness. I am anti that, but that would be a nuts way to find out. Bit more canon confirmation for DC.
Yes.
James Gunn says only Creature Commandos is canon going forward. The example he used to make it simple is that we know Rick Flag Jr. is dead because Rick Flag Sr. mentions it in Creature Commandos, not because we saw Rick Flag Jr. die in the Suicide Squad film.
Yeah, I think he also with this said, treat Suicide Squad as a dream, like a badly told dream.
Yeah, an imperfect memory, I think is the words he used. Which makes it nice and clear. If you get told something, it happened. If you didn't, it didn't. Now, a lot of this stuff might be similar to what we've already seen. Doesn't mean it happened. Relax, everything will be okay. Canon is not that deep. Can we not become Star Wars and just start screaming that everything breaks canon? If you want to love comic book media, you have to accept retcons, motherfucker. That is the one rule.
I'm looking forward to when we get Blue Beetle again, and this comes up again, and he goes, "Yeah, the only thing that's canon is Blue Beetle because he's here, and that he had something that happened at a castle.
That happened, yeah, exactly. Anything he mentions happened. If he doesn't mention it, it didn't fucking happen. Easy. Netflix had a great Q4 in 2024. They broke 300 million subscribers worldwide, and they had their highest ever single quarter gain in subscribers. Congratulations to Netflix.
Congratulations, Arcane.
As a result of this, Netflix has once again raised its prices.
Yeah, and all the League of Legends fans leave and come back next time when the next show comes.
Here's the thing. I sit here and I haven't cancelled my Netflix subscription. I haven't, I'll be honest. But if I need to save money at any point, of all of my streaming services, Netflix is the first to go. Nothing that we cover on the podcast is on Netflix.
The only thing I've watched on Netflix, like specifically gone to Netflix to watch in the last year, was Arcane Season 2 and the Drive to Survive series.
Yeah.
Drive to Survive series I can do without. Arcane, you just have to subscribe for the month when it comes.
I've got to be honest, Netflix in the way I use it, is kind of like an extension of YouTube. Yeah, when I don't know what I want to watch, I boot it up and there will be something that I can throw on.
Just put Friends on.
Yeah. I don't go to Netflix for a show.
Unless it's specific. Yeah.
But because there's a good chance if they release a new show and I like, they're going to cut it. Like the big one is Chaos, the Greek mythology with Jeff Goldblum that came out this year. I saw that. I was like, that looks sick. I'll get around to watching that. Not even 6 weeks after it came out, I hadn't got around to watching it yet because I'm a busy dude. I have stuff to do. And they're like, it's been cancelled. They won't be making a second season anymore. And instantly, I'm like, right, well, I'm not even going to bother then.
Yeah.
And that's my problem with Netflix.
Netflix has a wild... They're
cut
Arcane, the lucky thing for me, because Arcane's like the only thing I care about. And it's fine being on Netflix because I know if Netflix cancelled it, League will happily take that elsewhere. Like, they own all that. Like, League will just go, okay, bye Netflix. Hello, Prime. You've made video game stuff. do you want the best video game show going? So,
Yeah, exactly.
but yeah, it's wild that they're putting the price up again. Something's got to give with Netflix. Like they need to figure something out, otherwise people are going to start leaving.
Absolutely, and they should.
Well, yeah.
Hollywood Reporter has claimed that Ryan Gosling is in talks to star in Sean Levy's Star Wars movie. Now, I've got to be honest, we love Star Wars here. We try and be very positive about Star Wars. I didn't think Star Wars had enough juice to pull a Ryan Gosling in its current state.
I mean,
If you're a genuine A-lister,
he'll
are
just be
you
like
touching Star Wars right now?
I mean,
Are you?
I think the tough thing is, you have to be a Star Wars fan. Like, if you're just a general alien, like, oh yeah, we know what the Star Wars films, but I'm like,
Why?
you're probably not. I think an A-lister who is a genuine Star Wars fan won't care the state of Star Wars. They'll just be like, they just want to be in a Star Wars film.
Oh, so you think an A-lister would only touch it if they were a Star Wars fan?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were saying an A-lister should only touch it if they're a Star Wars fan.
No, but I mean, that also is kind of true because
Hands up! No. But bollocks. Harrison Ford never gave a single shit about Star
I know.
Wars.
But I mean, at the moment, like, because if you're a genuine Star Wars fan, just you touch it because at least you won't be disappointed when the people rip it apart because you'll just be like, I got to be in Star Wars. You've had your high.
Yeah.
Your high was experiencing filming a Star Wars film. You don't care how it does. But yeah, I mean,
it is bad because I'm not an actor. I'd love to be, but it won't probably ever happen.
You never know.
I'm going to cut back to this. I'm going to cut back to this in my documentary, and I'm a multi-billionaire from films. Which does cut all the anti-billionaire sentiment out. But even right now, knowing the amount of abuse I'd get if I was in Star Wars, if they called me up and went, "Do you want to be a Jedi?" I would say the words "fuck yes" so fast that their heads would spin because it's fucking Star Wars. What do you mean? Do you want to come on set and pretend you have the Force? Yes, I'm booking my flight now.
Hey, we all know you'd be cast into an Andor thing. You're not going anywhere near the Force. You're going political destruction.
Hey, if they want to write me some of their monologues, I will give an acting performance that gets me an Emmy nomination. I promise you that.
Hey, at least we know Ryan Gosling's going to probably play some silent Jedi who doesn't speak.
Yeah. In all fairness to Ryan Gosling, and this isn't Ryan Gosling's fault, he is a straight white man. Star Wars fans will not react as negatively to him.
Hey, this could be a wild cast, like Jeremy Allen White being Jabba the Hutt's son.
Yeah, like we'll see.
Who knows?
But it's an interesting one. More interesting news about our favourite franchises. Benedict Cumberbatch has revealed in an interview to Variety that he won't be in Avengers Doomsday, but he does have a major role in Secret Wars, and he's also teased that Doctor Strange 3 is in the works. I saw someone kind of do the maths based on our current timeline of what's coming out when. Yeah. They don't think Doctor Strange could happen until after Secret War.
Well, yeah, and
that again assumes that we aren't going to have another round of delays.
People have also kind of worked out, like, going off how the last Doctor Strange ended, it would sort of make sense that he is busy doing that thing that he was about to leave to do.
Well, the big thing is, of course, the end of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness was Clea arriving and talking about incursions. Incursions is Secret Wars territory.
Yeah.
It makes complete sense that, like I said, he's trying to deal with stopping an incursion while Doomsday is happening. And Doomsday finishes, and then it's like, incursion happening. I tried. That's why I wasn't helping with the Metal Man, but here I am. Yeah. Here is another universe. You're going to crash into each other.
And also, we're kind of expecting Doomsdays to be mainly focused in an alternate universe. So it's like, it's okay to, like, not have Doctor Strange there.
And I actually think it's good a little bit. Don't get me wrong, I love Doctor Strange. I want him in as much as possible. But characters getting a bit more room to breathe, I think is going to prolong the MCU a little bit.
Yeah.
Aaron Paul, Simu Lee, and others have joined the cast for Invincible season 3.
Yeah, I saw like a cast
They
list.
added a lot of heavy hitters.
Yeah. Prime's pulling out the checkbook.
Yeah, I'm excited. So Simu Lee is playing an alternate version of Duplicate. I can't remember what his name is, but it's Dupla something, and it's a masculine name. Aaron Paul is playing. Oh, I forget the character's name. I think it's a villain, but it's a power-based villain. It's cool. It's names. It's here's the thing I always struggle with animation. I want big names because it gives the show more power.
Yeah.
But I want voice actors to get work. I want them to be respected. So I kind of want us to develop this rule where it's like
a good balance.
A 70-30 rule.
Mm.
But if one of the main roles goes to a superstar, it becomes like an 85-15 rule because a main character is a superstar. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some people who like made their name in voice acting and acting at like the same time. So like David Tennant's done a lot of voice acting.
Yeah.
But he's also like a genuine is this British bias? I don't give a fuck. He's also a genuine superstar.
Yeah.
So it's like it's difficult. But like that's I want us to develop some kind of rule. If SAG-AFTRA could get working on that, that'd be great.
Do you know what I thought was funny with this? Aaron Paul is now in an animated superhero show, and he's doing that superhero Telltale game.
Yeah,
like,
I'm so excited for
man's
that game.
just like in his superhero voice acting arc.
We were talking about this 2 weeks ago about how Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey just is like collecting stones on the Infinity Gauntlet with these superstar actors. And now we've got the most rogue casting choice. I think I could like if you would have given me all of the superstar names, this would not have been the next name I chose to join this cast.
No, it wouldn't.
Jon Bernthal has apparently joined the cast for Christopher Nolan's Odyssey. Now, he's a brilliant actor, there is no doubting that. The memes about this, however, have been cracking me up.
Is he playing the sea serpent?
Well, the thing is, a lot of his roles, he has like quite like a blue collar, almost Boston accent.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is set in Greece. Is he going to be like Cyclops? He's like, hey, what are you doing?
Just the Boston Cyclops.
Yeah, and this is the thing, people doing that, I'm like, that's really funny. But Jon Bernthal's a brilliant actor, I'm sure it'll be great. We've also, I forgot to write it down, it's also kind of been confirmed that Tom Holland is the lead. He'll be playing, is it Odysseus or Prometheus or whoever the main character is?
Yeah. I also saw that apparently he was offered to film most of it in a studio, but they are doing it on location in Italy?
Greece.
Oh, they're going to Greece.
Yeah. So there is, amongst historians, there is a particular city where they believe Homer imagined the story to take place. So they're filming the majority of it there. There is also an island that was a big part of the story, and they're filming that there as well. Christopher Nolan may have gone off the deep end and gone, I'm telling this story, and we're going to make it real. We know he's like obsessed with practical effects. He made a nuclear bomb, all that shit. I'm genuinely worried now he's going to summon the Kraken.
Weta's about to get a Oscar nomination for creating a real-life animatronic Kraken in the middle of the ocean.
I cannot wait for the news report when they forget to tell the local governments that there's going to be a massive 100-foot-tall fake monster in the ocean off Greece.
First HG picture of sea monster. Monsters are real. All over Reddit subreddits.
Yeah. Craziness. The Inschneider has reported that Camille Nagia, known obviously to us from Eternals, has joined the cast for Fallout Season 2.
He's just doing a bit of multiverse stepping.
Yeah. I mean, we're both excited for
he's
Fallout
a great
Season
actor
2 when we get it. He's a good comedic actor as well, which might just bolster... Because Fallout's a bit of a quirky, funny world. He could really sit in there quite nicely, I think.
Yeah, he could.
Natasha Lyon has said filming Fantastic Four makes her think of Interstellar. in the way they're
Yeah,
doing stuff.
and I think also said it has like interstellar vibes with stuff,
Yeah.
which with how
It's a
interstellar.
ballsy claim.
Well, here's my brain. My brain goes to like the end of Interstellar, which you haven't
Okay, cool. No, I've
seen.
not seen it.
No, the way that
I'm
film,
fully aware of it, but yeah.
the way that film ends with like the visuals of the traveling and shit, I could see that being brought in, and like
So,
obviously all the space travel and on the spaceships and stuff.
do you want me to do an odd flex for you real quick?
Oh, here we go.
So there, if I mean, you've probably seen this as well. You know how on TikTok there's like obviously people do like the pictures and the slides,
Hmm.
and they turn them into like guessing games. It's like if you guess this on the first picture, you get this many points. Second picture,
Oh,
this many
yeah.
points. There were ones for films that we were going through, and we got to one. I've gone to the first picture, which was just a picture of a field, and I went, "That is Interstellar," and I was right.
Was it a wheat field or whatever?
Cornfield.
Cornfield, yeah.
Yeah. And I got to the end of that, and me and Jenna were playing together. She was like, "You've not even seen that film. How the fuck did you know that was Interstellar?"
Just tell by the cinematography.
No, and here's the thing: I didn't realize until playing that game how, like, because we did loads of them, like how much cinematography makes a film stand out more than what's actually in the shot.
Certain
At times.
that have very
Yeah.
like specific visual styles of their
Yeah,
films.
but that cracked me the fuck up.
That's
I was
funny.
like, oh, no one's ever gonna believe it, but I promised you it happened.
It
But
is
yeah,
an
it's been on my list
iconic
forever.
cornfield.
Yeah, it's been on my list forever, but unfortunately the list gets longer.
You might have to watch it before Fantastic Four now.
Yeah, maybe. Rumors are mounting and growing stronger, and it's only logical at this point that the Fantastic Four trailer is expected to be revealed at the Super Bowl. I think it's guaranteed, or no, sorry, leaked and highly guaranteed as well that we're getting the second Superman trailer at the Super Bowl.
So I have a new want from the Super Bowl trailers, right? I've said originally I was like, I'm happy if we only get the Superman trailer at the Super Bowl. We've obviously got one already. And then when I was saying we should have like a proper American patriotic like advert that is Superman, and it's not really a trailer for the new film, but it's just obviously like, what if Marvel and DC collaborate and do a Superman and Fantastic Four like quirky sort of ad like that? Like, I don't know, have like them appear or something because they've traveled into Superman's world, or it's the two Superman and Mr. Fantastic doing an advert together or something. Like, imagine for the Super Bowl that those two brands come together to make a promotional thing for those two films because they're going to be the biggest, potentially the biggest superhero films.
It'll be interesting for sure. But I at this point, I think leaving it later than the Super Bowl for Fantastic Four is dangerous for the marketing timeline. And releasing it in the next 10 days before the Super Bowl is negligent.
Yeah, doing it for the Super Bowl makes sense.
Yeah.
Superman, I also would have been fine with it being at the Super Bowl, but like we knew James Gunn had it done and it was sat on a hard drive like a month ago. And if he'd waited this whole time, people would have been like, come on, just give us the fucking trailer. Like,
put it this way, since Barbenheimer, every 6 months people have grabbed two films they want to make the next Barbenheimer.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four Superman is my Barbenheimer. And I did Barbenheimer. I watched them both in the same day. It was great. This is my Barbenheimer.
It's just like it to do it at the Super Bowl. Like they could have some fun with like a advert and give us the actual Fantastic Four trailer.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow has started filming. For those unaware, I live very close to Leavesden Studios, where the DCU will be filming basically everything.
And then off you go on your weekends.
Yeah, Holly, I'm going to need you to send your best camera and your biggest lens. I'm going to go climb a tree. Yeah, the temptation to find a way onto that set and just demand a role as an extra until I either get arrested or given a role as an extra is incredibly real.
Give it like 3 months, and we might be breaking news on some leaked photos
That I definitely did not take.
that have like half of the pictures just covered in leaves.
Don't worry about it. But that's exciting. I'm excited for this film.
Yeah.
Ulrich Thompson has joined the cast of the Lanterns series as Sinestro. Now, this was a bit of a shock to people because people didn't think Sinestro was going to be a part of the show.
Oh.
So Ulrich Thompson joining the cast, pretty cool. Originally, this was just a rumor.
Okay.
It was like rumors circulating that Ulrich Thompson is going to be Sinestro, and then he responded and going, "I think that's a good casting." Which I love the energy. It's cool. I don't know much of his work. In fact, I know none of his work that I know of. I probably do know some of his work.
Yeah.
He's Danish. They make good villains. Oh, he's done a lot. He's done a lot of work. He is a seasoned professional. Right, let him cook. He did Allegro in 2005. Okay. Yeah, this man's been out here working.
This man has worked.
Yeah, an actual like working actor who's not just like no shade to Timothy Chalamet, someone who's like just done massive film after massive film every 2 or 3 years since they were like 12. So yeah, I mean that's always exciting. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man has been renewed for 3 seasons on Disney Plus already, and the scripts are completed for season 2, and they're about halfway through the animation.
That is commitment that I enjoy.
Having now seen the first 2 episodes, I'm bouncing off the walls at this news. So I'm like, that is the pace you need for yearly release schedules.
Hopefully, because X-Men 97, did they confirm a season 3 of that?
Yes.
Yes, so they're doing the same for that. Like,
yeah,
very on board with them just like fully committing to these animated shows and giving
absolutely 100%. I couldn't agree more. So Acolyte has been revealed to have been Disney Plus' second most watched show of 2024, beaten out narrowly by Percy Jackson season 1, which is very impressive. This further exacerbates the question of why wasn't it renewed. Now, I did some proper journalism. I found the site that was reporting it. I signed up and I got access to their entire report of streaming trends and stuff for the last year. And on that, it has the full 10 projects for Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And the time watched. So this is millions of minutes watched is the number I'm going to say.
The way they did the numbers is weird, but yeah.
So Percy Jackson, the Olympian season 1 had 3,070 million minutes watched. The Acolyte had 2,633 million minutes watched. So 400 million minutes less. Agatha All Along season 1, 2,200. Echo 1,500. X-Men 97 1,400, which for an animated show is actually quite impressive.
Yeah.
Star Wars: The Bad Batch season 3 923. Star Wars Skeleton Crew, which this is a lower number, but we have to remember it didn't start till the beginning of December, 914.
Which
is impressive. Ahsoka season 1, 841. The Mandalorian season 3, 811. The Mandalorian season 1, 693.
I thought that was funny.
That's incredible. That show came out 5 years ago.
Still been watched.
And it still was a top 10 show.
Do you know what's
But
also
this really
impressive?
does beg the question, why did the Acolyte not get renewed?
Well, before that, like Echo getting that high number as well on a very short show.
6 episodes at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, like that's...
Which does mean it had the whole year for people to find it, in fairness. But still, that's good.
Yeah. But yeah, Acolyte, I mean, I put it to it, it's like, the copium I have seen from the Star Wars haters of that show of, oh, well, if 10 people just put that show on repeat, clearly that's what they're doing. They're just bolstering the numbers.
That's what we're doing. We're botting a show that's already been cancelled.
Yeah.
Get a fucking grip.
Like, it does. I mean, this leans into this whole thing that we've heard with Star Wars where they're like questioning their entire identity internally or whatever. Don't know what they're doing. It's just, this just adds to my belief that Disney just caved so quickly to the haters because they were just too scared to commit to something that wasn't Skywalker era. That thankfully Skeleton Crew's done well, and I think that will help.
That doing 900 million minutes in December is incredible.
But like, it's like, don't get me wrong, Acolyte was not perfect, but when it's got that much watch time, like, yeah, give it a chance. Like, a second season could have done a lot for that show.
Like, I sent you the tweet when that was revealed, and I was like, "This has made me." I was over it. I was like, "Ah, it happened. It sucks." That was like a PTSD non-flashback for me. I was like, "Fucking ridiculous! It was a good show. People clearly watched it. Why didn't you give it another chance?"
Here's my copium as an endurer of that show.
As an Acolyte truther.
With this kind of now public discussion again of this show, and the ones that enjoyed it being like, look, it got this many views, why have you cancelled it? And the enjoyers are being a bit louder. It's also Disney. They can uncancel their own show if they want to. Like,
they are not beholden to some studio or something.
No, at the end of the day, they haven't cancelled it. They've just put it on a shelf and they've not confirmed a season 2 and aren't actively working towards a season 2. They could very easily just pull it off the shelf and go, okay, we're making a season 2. And do you know what I'd love? I'd love for them to say absolutely nothing, keep the actors quiet, and they just go out of nowhere in a year. They're just like, so we've got a season 2 of Acolyte coming out. You thought we'd cancelled it? Egg on your face.
And we're going to end on a little bit of sad/funny news. Okay. So, the voice actor for Spider-Man / Peter Parker in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is a gentleman named Hudson Thames. He is naturally doing interviews for his new show.
Yes.
And the headline that's gone viral from his interview with Collider, I believe it was with Collider, is, I was really worried it was going to be a really woke and annoying show, but I think we managed to avoid that. This naturally caused the same kind of bullshit arguments we see all the time. So we have a couple of things to discuss. A, as the interview points out, the writer of this interview is a genius. His first real job was voicing Spider-Man in What If Season 2.
Right.
That was 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
Since then, he's done one other thing.
Right.
And then this. He might be worried about the wrong things. Maybe worry about being employed. Secondly, this actually, in my opinion, is a good thing. Because it, for once and for all, proves that these people who complain about stuff being woke have no fucking idea what they're talking about.
Yes.
Because how can you watch this show as the person in it and go, thank God we didn't do any woke shit? In the first episode, Peter's best mate comes out as gay by saying, Peter, if you don't ask her out, I will. And then his black best friend gets racially profiled. And then in the second episode, they gender and race swap Dr. Connors.
So
this is like the most woke shit possible in the best way. It absolutely should be. Spider-Man is like the wokest shit ever. But it just proves once and for all that these guys who complain about woke stuff don't know what they're complaining about.
Okay, so here's my kind of take on this situation. You've obviously got the people that complain about wokeness in shows. Woke to them is when there's a female lead.
Yeah.
Like, that's how brain dead they are about what is woke.
Not straight white man, must be woke.
You have then got I'm sure internally discussions about woke, because it's fucking all through the media. Like, of course, those discussions are happening internally, and they don't like. And their opinion is, we don't want to be seen. Sort of what he's saying of, we need to be careful not to be seen as too woke because it could harm. Like, they're worried about harming.
Appealing to everyone.
Yeah. But what they class as woke is probably bad in your face woke, of like overly forcing stuff that like then harms the story, or like clearly is like, oh, you're not, this is no longer like just being inclusive. You are overly shoving this in our face for the sake of shoving it in our face. And I think this guy, obviously not doing a lot of voice acting, only experienced Marvel, has probably heard these conversations in these internal places and is regurgitating what he's heard, not really understanding what he's heard, in a kind of naive way of like, oh, this is what the execs have said, so I'm going to sound smart, but oh yeah, we were worried about being too woke.
Here's the thing, I do get that. I think you're giving him too much credit, because the direct quote is, I was worried that we were going to do too much woke, annoying shit.
Yeah, but I think it's a case of like, you know, when he's heard that talked about, and because he's young, and then he's like, oh, I think the same.
How young is he?
I don't know. But like, young in the sense of like, he's not done a lot of work in the industry.
He's 30 years old.
Hey, I'm young.
You are ancient.
But no, in the sense of like, he's not done a lot. So
yeah,
like,
I do get that.
I wonder if part of it is more, unfortunately for him, he's kind of voicing some other opinion that's being told as his own opinion because he thinks that's the right opinion to have. And
yeah,
how much PR has he done before? Because we know that often is where people slip up and say things in the wrong way, kind of misword themselves. Of like,
I do get that.
Maybe he was worried about, he doesn't want the show to be like Disney to be trying to overforce wokeness, and that's what he meant by that. And that's a fine, like, yeah, of course you don't want a show to do that, but the way he's worded it, and then obviously as soon as that's given to the public hear the word woke and go mental with it.
It's ridiculous. It was a dumb thing to say, and I think rightfully so. People are pissed off because no one kind of, let's be clear here, on the left is using woke in a negative way ever. They're like, it's just inclusion, what you're talking about. And then on the right, it's like you said, it's like, oh, it's a woman as the main character. What is this woke bullshit?
Yeah.
And him doing that and using them words, whether it was an innocent mistake, I've not being as forgiving in my interpretation as you are. I think he said exactly what he was thinking. And I think he's just exposed himself as a dumbass. And all I'm going to say is Spider-Man has a very rich history of brilliant voice actors.
Mm-hmm.
If he was to accidentally get punched in the throat in episode 1 of season 2 and his voice be irreparably changed, I don't think anyone is going to complain.
Well,
his voice acting is not so phenomenal that I'd be like, oh no, we can't lose him. If they want to go get Josh Keaton and bring him back, because everyone loved Josh Keaton's Spectacular Spider-Man, I think everyone would, even the people who were like, oh, he was okay, will be like, yeah, but Josh Keaton, whoop whoop. Like, I don't know, fuck this guy. Using woke in a negative way whatsoever in an interview, whether you meant it in a negative way, in the way it's used by a lot of right-wing media, is irrelevant. Don't be a dumbass. You are working on one of the biggest IPs on planet fucking Earth. Make sure you know what you're going to say.
Yeah,
the worst thing you could do is sound ignorant.
Yeah, no, I think he's dumb in his use of what he said, and I think he's dumb because he's not real. Like, he obviously doesn't see necessarily how, like, you just using the word woke is immediately going to skew some views of what you've said.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah, that's, to me, that is part and parcel. He's probably just young and a bit dumb and bad PR training. And at the end of the day, like you were saying, the right wing uses woke all the time. Realistically, the left side don't actually use the word woke.
No,
They just
because
say,
the right co-opted it as just this horrible thing.
yeah, that word now is just used to hate stuff. So it's like, I'm surprised these actors aren't being given more PR on just like, if that word's brought up, you circle, like you redirect around that word and just don't use that word.
Dip, dodge, dive, duck, and dodge. Like,
yeah,
cannot be having it.
But yeah, the show's great. So tough shit to the people that wanted to hate it, because
let's be clear. I'm like, if I need to laugh, I'm gonna go find the tweets of the people who saw that he said it's not woke, got really excited, and then went and watched Glenn first episodes.
I did see, yeah, I knocked my empty cup. I did see one thing, which was obviously like a funny take on like the whole situation, which is like, oh, this is a plant by Disney to try and entice the right-wing side into their watching their show because it's all marketing.
You know what? I would kind of love it if someone did like a deep dive on his social media and it turned out he was liberal as fuck and he did do it to bait him.
It's like, PR was like, use the word woke because it's going to get us a lot of viewers that probably would write this show off.
we know the show is woke as fuck, so the people who are going to give it a chance anyway will be like, oh, he's just an idiot. And the right wing will give it a chance and then too dumb to realise it's woke, so they'll just be like, yeah, he said it's not woke, let's go. But yeah, it just cracked me up. It's just if you get the chance to be Spider-Man, like if they hired me to be Spider-Man, I would delete all social media, not because I'm scared of the public, just so that I cannot put my foot wrong, so that I can be Spider-Man for as long as possible. Like I'm telling you right now, there are 1 million people with Spider-Man-ish voices right now calling their agent, going, "Are they trying to replace him? Can you get me in for the audition?" It's happening. I'm telling you, they might not be trying to replace him, but everyone is calling their agent, going, "Can you get me in an interview?"